All right, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I am thrilled about this particular segment because I happen to know this photographer for a very long time. Outside of him being a photographer, we don't live too far from each other. So let's bring on photographic expert, photographer extraordinaire, Ira Merritt. Ira, nice to see you again, even on TV as opposed to in the grocery store.
Yeah,
And nice to have you with us. Let's just talk about you as a photographer. I know you've had a long life of taking pictures. When did you get started? Why did you get started? What has been the motivation to keep you taking pictures decades and decades and decades?
um, it all started about 1977,
Wow.
and I was 27 years old, and my wife and I quit our jobs and decided to travel to Europe. We traveled for almost a full year.
Wow, I didn't know that. How
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And I had looked at the work of Paul Strand and um, Achi, and I went to Europe, and I thought I would be photographing the the burnt out buildings and things like that. And I found that they were all sandblasted and beautiful.
Oh,
So, so,
so that
but
didn't work out.
yeah, but I was still looking for um, that phenomena of Europe at the time, and I managed to find it here and there.
Right? One thing led to another. And so I'm just going to make an assertion here. You just like the idea that you see things and you'd like to represent that and you use the tool to represent that to other people. I mean, that's the germ of what you try to do.
Um, I think it's more of an artistic sense of um, photographing composition wise and tonal quality wise were very important to me more than the subject matter itself.
Fascinating. So
Yeah.
so the artistic aspect of it, folks. We're going to look at a couple of very interesting photographs that have changed the way you look at the world. So let's see. The Gallery 505 is KRVC is doing that at their offices. Actually, you
Right.
said they did have like a by appointment only viewing, but May 12th, Thursday, May 12th at 7 p.m. They're going to have the actual official opening. There's a look at it, including one of the photographs. Where is that photo? Where is that photograph from, by the
That
way?
was actually down in the parade grounds. The
Van Cortlandt Park. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're all taken in Van Cortlandt Park, and this was during a fog, and it's the trees that line the pathway for the runners.
How much of a when you look at that photograph now, how much of that is planned, and how like you say, okay, I'm going to take it this way, and then you see what it's going to look like afterwards, or is it one of those things that you just take a bunch and then say, oh, if we handle it this way, we blur it out, we make it black and white, how much is planned and how much is kind of artistic accident, so to speak?
It No, the photographs are taken purposely um, for their artistic um, value, and later on, this process took me 6 years to do,
Wow.
and
And were you doing it with the idea that you were gonna create this thing, or did you just say, "Well, now after 6 years, I've got to I happen to have a show available." How deliberate was it that you were shooting for this ephemeral concept?
no, actually, it started out when my parents were uh, infirm and not doing well
Oh,
in their last few years of life, and I needed a place to go to
oh,
um, to feel
Feel better.
feel better about
Yeah,
myself. And so
right.
I went to the park just to photograph the changes of the seasons. And that lasted 2 years. After 2 years, I showed the work to an artist friend of mine, and he said that the work reminded him of winter. So I went back and looked at the work, and I decided to photograph things with the theme of winter. Winter not only being seasonal, but winter
A state
as
of
the
mind.
state of mind. Yeah.
So I wanna just get to some more pictures. We wanna show
Okay.
people what it is that they're gonna see when they go to the opening and then, of course, the gallery at KRVC, in the future. So let's, take a look.
Okay.
Anderson has the photos. So let's take a look at this. This is,
Hopscotch.
hopscotch in the Van Cortlandt Classic Playground.
No, it was
No.
actually photographed near Jerome Avenue.
Ah,
It was the lines were made by the mother. She drew it out, and it just it
there you
just
go.
happened. I was actually looking for a hopscotch, uh, some kids playing hopscotch, and I couldn't find it. And I spent hours looking, and then finally, when I was up at Jerome Avenue, I saw this mother drawing out
There
the
you go. And
outlines.
I love the lightness of the hopping that you captured
Yeah,
in that. Alright,
yeah.
let's, take a look at another. This is like "Don't Fence Me Out."
Well, it also has meaning to me because when I was 18 years old, I had an Achilles tendon operation, and it prevented me from playing basketball anymore. And I love playing basketball. So,
So there you go.
it's
There's
I
something
call it game
symbolic.
over.
Game over.
Yeah,
Very good. Or game not even begun.
yeah.
Alright, let's take a look at another one. This is a much cleaner shot of that tree thing. You look at it and it looks like one tree, but if it's very subtle, you can see the trees lining the sides
Mhm.
of it. This is really the definition of a winter feeling picture, even though I'm guessing, in our North Bronx area, that is not the winter because you wouldn't have leaves
I
if
think
there
it
was
was, late fall.
late fall. Alright,
Yeah,
maybe it was closer to winter. Maybe I'm
yeah.
wrong. Could be. Alright, let's take another look. Let's see. Now this, actually our, producer, or, production assistant, Anderson, said he loved this sort of picture. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, it just happened quickly. I saw the umbrellas, and I quickly shot it. But it reminds me of the film Umbrellas of Cherbourg, and I the idea that things are what they are, but they could have been something else.
So here's my curiosity. Now I realize, okay, so the stationary, tree is one thing. I mean, it might have been swaying in the wind. Did you take it with this final product in mind, or did you take it did you literally blur the focus of it, or did you then ultimately do that either in development or some other, now we have so much technology, that kind of thing.
All right. What happened was the last 2 years of shooting in the park, I I looked at the photographs of Mashiya Fugazi. He's a Japanese photographer. He made a book called The Solitude of Ravens, and in it he used mostly blurred images, and it was just the thing that I was looking for to finalize the series.
The concept, so again, did you shoot that, like, looking through your camera blurred? I mean, that's how you did it?
That particular one, it was a little blurred because of the fog, but I blurred it a little bit more.
A little bit more. I'm just curious about this because you would be taking pictures back in the late '70s all the way till now. Do you still use film at all, or at this point,
No,
why bother? It
no,
costs too much money, and you can control the images, right?
no.
It's a
I
yeah.
no, I haven't been in the darkroom in over 20 years.
Right. Listen, I know you live in amalgamated houses, and you're blessed by having, dark rooms and other things that you could use to expand your work. All right, we got a couple more that we're going to show. Let's see what else. I'm going to tell you which one is my favorite. This one is the one. This one is my favorite photograph. Having been on that swing and having pushed kids on that swing, I know exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, I ran and run. I photographed it from underneath. I lay down the ground and
Really?
photographed. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And do we know who it was who was on the
I
swing?
don't know.
There's a part of it that scares me about that photograph because I'm always worried I'm gonna get hit in the chin with the swing.
No,
Um, and is that one of those that took you a long time to get that moment, to get that spot? Like you took it and then, well, it's not quite where I want it.
no. I just ran under it and photographed it quickly.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. How often do you go out and shoot, pictures? And do you do it every day? Do you do it once a week? Do you do it just at random, or do you do it
Um,
specifically to work on a show like the one you have created here for
no.
KRVC?
I'm working on another project, but I haven't. I have a little bit of a back problem right now,
Oh, I'm
so
sorry to hear that.
I haven't been photographing lately. But I have a project that is to the end of the line in the Bronx, and it's from the it's on the along the 2 and 5 train from about 138th Street to 140 something 41st Street.
And so the end of the line is obviously the end of the line.
Right.
Is there a photographic theme, or you're just looking for good angles? Why did you select that?
I selected that because I was in a group called the Bronx Photographers Project,
Of course, yeah.
and I came up with this theme of photographing along one of the uh, f- uh, subway lines. I thought it
Right.
would be a good
Listen,
thing.
We're gonna have to go,
Okay,
so we know that that's what you're working on, we're gonna look for that, but,
okay,
I don't know if we can put up the flyer again. People, will be able to go, beginning May 12th, to, KRVC, and it's right in their offices there on, what is that, West
right.
236th Street up
236th
in
Street.
yeah, up in Riverdale. Ira Merritt, great to have you, thank you for joining us. Thanks for the great work. Keep taking pictures, we love them.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So, folks, that'll do it for the Bronx Buzz. Thanks to David Cruz. Thanks to Ira Merritt. And guess what? Yep, you're right. We'll see you next week. Good night.